I'm Jenny Dorsey. I'm a professional chef, writer, and a contributor to Serious Eats. And today I'll be showing you how to make mussels escabeche. I consulted with Chef Sergi on this recipe. This is adapted from his original recipe. So before we get started, I just want to show a video of our interview and show how he has a wealth of knowledge on all things escabeche, all things Catalonian food. So let's cut to that first.
Hi, I'm Sergi de Meià. I'm a Catalan chef based in Vilanova de Meià. It's a very small village on the Pre-Pyrenees near the big mountains and near Barcelona on the middle.
So I first met Chef Sergi through his friend Francesc. And so he has introduced me to Chef Sergi as an expert on escabeche and Mussels Escabeche. So I'm really excited that Chef Sergi is here today, kind of in the flesh, to tell us about it.
Okay, the escabeche it's a basic recipe in Spain and also in Catalonia. It becomes from the Middle Age, and it changed a lot from the beginning, but the essence is the same. It's a product that you can put in vinegar or in lemon juice with olive oil and spices. That's the base. The first recipe appears in Llibre del Cent Subi on the 13th century, and it's made with mussels. It combines the sea and it combines the spices. Basically, it's a recipe to conserve the fish or conserve the vegetables or conserve the meats.
Yeah, I mean, on that, when we first started talking, you were also saying how escabeche, like the early recipes were very different from the ones now, and it had almond milk and just things that we just never see in now versions. So can you talk a little bit about how it's evolved through the years?
When we start all this culture, this gastronomical culture, we use a lot of spices, we use a lot of vinegar because it's normal. We don't have fridges and everything turns bad so quick. So it was a war recipe, We need to keep all these products well to eat for a while. The time passes and all these spices starts to disappear because when you change the generation think that the other thing it's just old things, and we don't like this. It's too old. And also the big social changes. Now we want to recuperate all these flavors and all these tastes. So it's a cycle, And when we can travel all around the world, here is a small place that you can visit, and you're gonna be happy with this.
Thank you so much. What a nice note to end on. As usual, it's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge.
When you want to talk about food and gastronomy, Sergi's here.
All right, so first you want to start a mussels escabeche recipe with the best mussels you can get. So mussels are super versatile. They're such a delicious animal, bivalve, and you can get them pretty much in any grocery store. Just make sure that you get them fresh. So what you want to find is nice closed mussels, and if you find any that are slightly ajar, you want to just make sure that they're still alive by tapping them against really any surface, and you should see them close up. So it's important that your mussels are still alive when you cook them. I know it sounds a little gruesome, but you don't want to have dead mussels because it can make you sick. It's a good idea to just give them a little rinse and then check through them one by tapping on any surface and seeing if they close. If you are buying mussels and storing them in your refrigerator for a few days, make sure that they are not sealed in the plastic bag that you might have received them behind the seafood counter, because that will suffocate them. You also do not want to put them in water because fresh water or tap water will kill the mussels. They need to live in seawater. So what you just want to do is put them in an open container like this and leave them out in your refrigerator so that they can breathe, and make sure that they're not too cold or else they might freeze to death as well. Now that we have inspected all of our mussels, we're going to debeard them. This is really easy. Essentially, you want some paper towels, or you can use a hand towel as well. And all the places you can see the little beard, you're just gonna grab them and pull them down. So some of them don't even really have beards, but Any that do, you just want to grab and pull down. So now that we have our nice debearded mussels, we are going to just put the mussels into our pot and we're gonna steam them in the pot without any water. The mussels will naturally release their watery goodness, so we don't have to worry about that. They will not burn. So what you're looking for is the mussels to open up, let out their mussel liquor, which you can save and use for other applications like paella, or honestly like a seafood stock is great. Ah, very lovely mussel facial. Great. While we're waiting for our mussels to cool down, we're going to make our escabeche solution. This is essentially a mix of flavored oil as well as some vinegar and spices. So for the base, we are using a high quality, neutral flavored olive oil, and we're going to add some aromatics to that mix. Today I have some rosemary, as well as some marjoram, as well as whole cloves of garlic that are unpeeled. In the recipe, you'll see that it says thyme. For some reason, I could not acquire any thyme. There was no thyme in like the 5 grocery stores I went to, so I went with marjoram. But honestly, if you don't like rosemary, you don't like thyme, don't like marjoram, you feel free to use different types of herbs that you like. I'll also be putting in some Meyer lemon peel, which I grew in my yard. You can use regular orange or lemon peel. This is a pretty flexible recipe. And then a little pro tip from Chef Sergi is that he uses whole garlic cloves that are unpeeled, so that later on when your mussels are curing, the garlic is also cooking and it cooks to a nice kind of like confit sort of texture, and you can pop them out of the skin and eat them. To him, that is the best part. I can validate and reassure you that this is a very delicious part of the process, so you should not skip it. So with that, I'm gonna add some oil here, some rosemary, and then our marjoram. Got 2 bay leaves, my lemon peels, as well as some cinnamon shavings. I like cinnamon shavings because it infuses a little bit faster than like a whole cinnamon stick, but you can definitely use a cinnamon stick. Have some black peppercorn, some garlic, a little bit of salt. We're gonna heat this up, again on kind of like a medium-low heat, and we're just looking to infuse all of these flavors in our oil. We don't need it to be like boiling. We want it to like a light simmer, and to let that simmer a little bit, and then we're gonna take it off the heat and just let it do its thing. Oh, I love how this smells. Mostly I like how garlic and oil smells. Okay, so this is simmering gently. I'm gonna turn it off, let it just keep infusing as we shuck our mussels. So I'm gonna carefully move my portable induction to the side. So shucking mussels is super easy. You can use your hands, or I guess you could use a spoon, but essentially you're just pulling them out. I think it's easier with your hands, but for, I guess, so this video looks more sanitary, I'll do it with a spoon for the first time ever. And you'll note that some of the mussels are slightly different colors. I just got like a really orange one. It really depends on what they eat, so do not be nervous if you get a couple different colors of mussels as well. All right, so I'm going to transfer our mussels into here. So now that this has been off the heat, it is now cooled slightly. So I'm gonna add our sweet paprika and our wine vinegar, and then pour this whole thing on top of our mussels. Now that you have your mussels escabeche ready, you can cure them in the fridge for 2 to 3 days. That has been like the optimal time for me. But at 2 days, you can definitely pick one out, taste them, see how you like it. If you want it to be a little bit more strong, you can leave them in there for a few more days. I would say these keep for probably about a week, but if you keep them in the solution, of course, they get more tart and more pickled as time wears on. So just make sure to kind of keep on top of your mussels and don't like leave them back in your fridge and forget about them. They're so delicious, so you'll have no trouble eating all of them in one sitting anyway. All right, well, thanks to TV magic, we actually have some mussels that are ready for consumption, and I just fished them out of our olive oil and vinegar mixture. They look plump and delicious, and I'm very excited to eat a garlic clove. So you can definitely serve these with any little appetizers you like. I like to have some baguettes on the side, maybe some olives. All right, let's do a taste test. So one mussel by itself. Oh, I'm tasting a lot of good rosemary, which I love. So simple. And then of course, on toast. I'm like that greedy person that I always make a really large toast for myself. But now I'm gonna grab a garlic clove. And you can just pop it out of the shell in your mouth. So good, so easy. Thank you, Chef Sergi, for that. Great tip. Thank you so much for allowing us to adapt your recipe. This is such a staple now in my household. It just makes such a beautiful and effortless appetizer. So definitely let us know what you think. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.